Alright, to follow up our other review, our previous review, let's have a look at on-track models V-Line Sprinter. The models were released in 2017 as, well, kind of a highlight of the year for Victorian modelers. So, in 5 years, it's been 5 years, has it? No, 6 years. How does it go nowadays? Specifically, we'll be looking at the original edition, which is 7001, and some of the more newer editions. In the original review would have been, original unboxing, it would have been number 7004. So a bit of a quick background on the models, seeing that it has been 6 years since they were released. They came in either twin packs or single packs, were all DCC ready, and feature fully interior lighting and all that sort of things. Covers all 3 eras of the Sprinters, and were fitted with, like on 7001, fake, decently looking Schaffenberg couplers. Alright, so let's take it back down to the workshop. We'll have a closer look at the models, have a look at some of its key features, its good things, and its not so probable things. Alright, so the two sprinters we're going to primarily have a look at are now on the desk. It should cover both major eras of the sprinters. We'll do a quick spin. Alright, so the sprinters were honestly one of the, at the time of when they came out, were one of those very high quality, high detailed models for quite a decent price, and it was very, very exciting at the time. And to this day, their details are still glamorous comparatively to a lot of the other models. So it's got things like moving mirrors, fake couplers which were actually decently nice, high quality details, interior lighting, fully directional lighting and markers with and ditch lights, and just all your oddballs and little stuff like that. Proper interior so that you could fit passengers if you felt like it, and a light up destination board with destinations available as part of your pack. Other key things such as the paintwork, the eras that the paints that the different liveries cover are all rather excellently applied. From most views isn't noticeable, or if there are any incorrectness. A lot of separately fitted parts, so giving you the scale of depth, and things like interior things like, for example, as you can see, the blinds and stuff like that are all being separately fitted. So a very, very high detail model, and inclusive of even the undercarriage detail was a very nice thing to have as well. Accuracy of the models are really, really good. Something else that I really like is the use of standard of a what's it called? For the couplers, you can literally put in any standard KD knuckle coupler that uses the standard sort of head that they use on them, because it's just like a converter socket inside, so it makes it nice and simple to change over to something that you prefer, especially if you want to couple them up to something else. Also, referencing for the model, we are using an image off the net of 7001 when it to do all its referencing details. Details all as correct as they can be, especially for in-service operation. because a lot of the images also show it in its pre-service condition, where it didn't have any of the stripes on the what's it called, on the front, and what's it called, one of the caps was side covers was actually removed. So other than that, yeah, the model looks pretty as accurate as it can be. The yellow seems to be slightly darker than than what the prototype is showing as well, but there may be a lighting issue there. So a slight realization I noticed that may have been apparent in the original unboxing video as well is the sprinters didn't come with an instruction manual, and since it's been 5 years, the website and all the information about it have since also been well, removed. So in that case, there will not be a features list in this video, because this is very subjected to the time of making. We'll go into its it's some of the faults that were found with the model over the years. Alright, let's have a chat about some of the issues I've had with the model. Once again, I do quite a bit of maintenance on these, so because obviously only the one on the right is actually mine. The one on the left is another one of is a maintenance model. In any case, and I will apologise firstly that this may seem immensely critical, and honestly, hopefully I'll lay it off a bit compared to the J-Class review. But so, details come on two sides. Yes, they are high quality detailed, but the fact that they use things like the mirrors have been a non-stop issue throughout the duration of ownership, to the point that a lot of them we've had to pretty much fully glue them in. For example, like 7005 over here, the mirrors are glued in place. They no longer move. I've tried to keep 7001 in as original condition, so it still has the moving mirrors and stuff like that. Little detail parts, for example, like the walkways, you can see on the front, those have fallen, which are made out of metal. Those have fallen off as well for some whatever reason. Little detail parts, for example, like the mesh grilling on the older sprinters, those the glue eventually wears off, and those also fall off. So, despite having good details, the details don't seem to stay on the models very well. Other issues that has been noticed, anyways, was what's it called? The removal of the body shell is, out of most models, is probably one of the most difficult models to remove. There are 3 clips on each side, which hold the shell together, and to get into the shell, you need some form of prying tool, because the body in the center of the carriage sits flush with the chassis. So it's just a bit difficult to open and very, very hard to maintain for that reason, at least in terms of trying to get in to do things like extra detailing and stuff like that. Servicing is nice and simple though. That's you can easily take off the outer frames and remove the axle boxes and clean out the wheels and oil up that way. They're nice and simple compared to some other models I played with. Another issue that I've heard, what's not really been a problem with us, is some of the light fixtures apparently aren't fully aligned, so sometimes the particular lights may not glow as bright. On like what's it called? You may have the left side bright but the right side isn't, but that hasn't been a problem with these ones, so luckily. One of the key issues that we'll also be covering in the next section, when we talk about body removal, is, and I'll keep most of the information about that then, is these models have slowly had an issue pop up over the last 1-2 years, and it's the unfortunate fact is we have 5 of these here, and there's even a 6th one that I've been requested and fixed. All of them have had the same issue. The drive shafts are breaking. So, and some of them have had both break, some of them have had one break, but basically all 5 that we have, plus another one that's coming in a few, in some time, those are all had drive shaft replacements, and they were all purchased and manufactured about purchased. 2 of them were purchased later. One was 3 of them were purchased later, and these 2 were the same age. And in fact, sorry, not the same. 7004, if you remember in the original video, that was actually the same age as this one, and that was one of the worst ones out of all of them. So, yeah, so drive shafts have all been breaking, and we will, as I say, we'll more in depthly talk about that in our next section. Alright, let's see if I can demonstrate how to open one of these Sprinter models. They're not the easiest to open, definitely not, but it is possible, and unfortunately you pretty much have to eventually in their lifetime, or at least with some of the earlier run versions. Right, so the Sprinters have, I think it was about 6 clips, all underneath the body, which is aligned underneath on the top frame. So only the top part of the model comes out. So we will firstly have to pry it out. Recommend is not to use something something metal, because you will scratch the body, either scratch it or damage the plastic body. You use something, either your nails or something, what's it called, or something plastic, or even cardboard, like a card. I'm gonna give it a go without having the cardboard for it. So coming from underneath, we can see that it's actually quite difficult to even do when you've got some form of nails. These models are definitely not easy to open, as I say. I don't think 04 has been opened up before either, so I unfortunately all the models have had to be opened up recently, so this is actually the last one that needs to be opened up. So you can see just by doing that, I've now pried apart one of the clips. So going along, and we'll unclip the, just stick the paper in while we do this, just to make sure the clip doesn't re-engage. Or those guitar picks that they use for partial prying, those could also do it. I'm just going to use the Control P packs. That's the second clip just being disengaged in there, and then should be the last clip on this side. So remember, we've got 2 clips on both sides as well. So that's just this one's, that's just the A side clips unlocked. So we'll just stick another Control P's, ouch. I've currently got a few spare couplers around, so so that's one side disengaged. Now we can come along and disengage the opposing side. I would recommend usually disengaging at the same time, because it means you can pull out freely, but in fact it's made it almost, yep, there you go. But there'll be always the idea that something like this might happen eventually in one of these videos, so you will see that I'll eventually have prying tools to do this. But just trying to pull out the last clips. That one, there we go. You can pull away the couplers, and the shell comes away. So the shell is physically not connected. There's no electronics connected to it. The lights are actually connected through these little plastic things on the inside. So let's have a closer look on the inside of the mechanism. So this is the inside of the mechanism. This is the shell. I've just knocked the electronics with it. It's pretty regular construction. Windows are glazed, properly glazed stuff, and tinted, which is pretty nice as well. So nice high quality shell, despite all the flaws. Going into the insides themselves, you've got, this is your lighting rig. So those lights underneath on the top unit, so you have all those light bars underneath, so the little see-through things, so they're there and all those. those coincide with the lights on this board, and then they switch on based on the way that the power is going through the model. The arrow coincides with what's supposed to be an arrow up here that shows the direction that the body needs to be facing in so that your clips will engage. So coming along, as we do have an internal interior, somewhat of an interior, which is pretty nice. And as we recall from the unboxing, they do give you people that you can stick into it. Just a little bit of glue should get them on, or even blue tack. And then obviously you can also fit the destinations on the inside here, so it's all pretty good. All nicely detailed anyways, but at what cost? Alright, we've got the blanking plate here. So this model is currently DC. In fact, when we put this back together, this one will be DCC'd. But, so, yeah, so this one is, that's the blanking plate that's fitted to it. It's just a 21 pin, a regular blanking plate. And then moving along, you've got a speaker well, so that you can fit sound to it, and then your other side of the lighting rig. Yeah, not too bad on the inside. The motor it's just in there. You got two and then you got drive shafts that run to the side. In fact, right now I'm going to go even deeper, and we're going to have a chat about one of the newer issues with the model, which unfortunately it's pretty much a problem with all of the units that we've had in the fleet. So even the main one for this video, my own 7001, has had a refit because of it. So I'm just going to quickly get this opened up, and then we'll have a chat about it. Alright, so removing all the screws. It's very nice that they're all the same screws, but that's beside the point. So we've got the top off. I've actually had to also unscrew the lighting rigs just in case the wires snag. So there is slack given to the wires up the top, which is nice. However, unlike some other manufacturers who uses plugs where it allows you to pull those off, so you don't need the slack at all. These ones you will have to unwind the slack just to get onto it. So you got your two lighting switches just here, one on each side. But what we're going to have a look at is these drive shafts. So in fact, you'll probably get an image of a different drive shaft, not this one specifically. So the drive shafts are obviously linked to these flywheels, and then will spin as per the rotation of the wheel. So it has two little pins on the end. So here's another clip of another drive shaft that's been pulled out. So you got a component, the metal shaft, and then you've got the plastic ends. Those plastic ends eventually crack, and then, well, they become, what's it called? They no longer connect into the wheel well properly, meaning that the wheel, the shaft, i.e. like this one right here, it spins while the shaft doesn't actually rotate. Alright, giving the model a quick voltage test. So, as we can see, we've got the multimeter currently plugged up to the track. At about 1 volt, the model starts to crawl. These motors have a very, very good control on them. However, at higher speeds, they do start to roar a bit. At 50% set on the controller, we are pushing approximately 7.5 volts. This is the sort of speed you can get off the models. Being a longer than average model as well, we've also got to deal with corner clearances. That's it going around an 18-inch corner. Alright, let's do a quick mass test on the on-track model Sprinter. So this is just the base version, DC, nothing added to it. Comes with a weight of 361 grams. So, what can I say about the Sprinters? They are definitely stood the test of time. Well, mostly anyways. The detail-wise are one of the best on the market, especially for the time. However, operational issues towards us through 4-5 years has unfortunately pulled down its score with every single Sprinter that we had. Purely due to a design issue in that drive shaft. However, everything else is definitely not a bad model at all. A bit difficult to DCC, but once she works outstandingly. Thank you everyone for joining us for this 5-year-long, 6-year-long relook at on-track model Sprinter. Be sure to stay tuned for more of these. Don't know what else I've got planned, but in terms of our long-term stuff, I think this might actually be it. But we'll see what happens. We may do a few re-reviews of some other stuff that we've done in previous, that we do have shorter-term videos as well. Be sure to stay tuned for more stuff. We've got a lot of other videos coming out. Primarily going over to N-gauge stuff from here on out, but I'll try to keep a good balance on HO stuff as well. Until next time, enjoy your model railways.